Nick Simons, December 23rd, 2021. I feel like I'm escaping a war zone. I'm leaving the apartment right now to go to Hope for Recovery to fill out the application for Richie's. To stay at Richie's Recovery. So it's got to be better than the environment that I'm in. You know, just no offense to Charlie, but it's just hard to deal with him. You know, this is what it is. It's like, this is why I need to get out of there. First of all, let me say this. He feels entitled to get to talk to me any kind of way he wants and degrade me and say just about anything. However he feels, it comes out, and he's got a thing about him. He likes to be confrontational with me in particular when no one's around and no one can see it. And I'm gonna let him have that. He feels entitled to it. You know, this is what I mean. That's his payment for doing kind things for me. I'm just gonna let him do that right now while I'm on my way out. But he feels like I owe him respect for the things he's done for me. But it's not the case, because the way he communicates with me doesn't garner respect. So it takes away from the actual things he did for me out of the kindness of his heart. But I'll prove it, I'll let him have that. I'm just going to go. I'm not going to argue with him and fight. But, it's part of another reason why it's a bad environment. Besides the communication, is that he is an enabler. Like, he did try to buy me alcohol the other night, and when we went out to eat. And, later on, if I developed an alcohol problem again, he would be saying, I wish he wouldn't drink. He knows that I don't want him to drink. I don't understand. So he would, I think, unconsciously enable me to get the problem, and then when he could claim victimhood, take advantage of that opportunity, that he kind of would have a part in creating. And that's what I think. I think I have narcissist, or not. No, I'm not a narcissist, okay? I have sociopathic tendencies, and I was conceited and all that, but I'm not a narcissist. Everyone calls me a narcissist or says I'm a narcissist, or I've been called that my whole life. I've done the research, and I know I'm not one. Way too much empathy for that, and the empathy level cancels me out from being a true sociopath as well. But I do have those tendencies, and I'm trying to fix that. But I'm just calling out Charlie by name, because this type of mental affliction that I have can only be from having a narcissistic parent. But I have sociopathic tendencies that have their origin in being what they call a self-fulfilling prophecy. And that's from in childhood and adolescent psychology or development class. These are terms I learned that described me. Like, it was weird learning about them, because it was like reading my life story. So if you're interested in finding out what a self-fulfilling prophecy is, just look it up. But make sure it has to do with child and adolescent development and psychology, not so that's the thing. Okay, I'm getting out of my dad's. It's like, when I first got there, I've been saying I want to go to a sober house, since I got, a couple weeks, not right away, but a couple weeks after I got into jail, maybe a month or two, or a month and a half or something. I figured out, I need to go to a recovery house, and a sober house. I should have did it the first time I got out of jail. I wouldn't be here now. You always have that hindsight is 2020. You know what I mean? Everybody has it, but especially when you're in jail and you're like, man, I really wish I did this one thing differently, and it would have changed. I wouldn't be sitting here right now. So I focused on that one thing, and I told him I was going to do it. And then, when he bonded me out, with the help of the organization, he gave me the impression that he thought me going to a sober house would be too hard, too difficult for me to pull off. That he understood if I needed to stay at his apartment. He just wanted to be there for me. You know, he wanted to make sure I was okay, and that was what he was, you know, he understood if I couldn't go to a sober house, and it's going to be expensive eventually when the credits run out, or, you know, and I'm not getting funding for it. But so I never said anything about, okay, I'm not going to the recovery house, but I did start with the accelerated classes. You know, I'll be running around using his car. Maybe we can figure something else out besides me using the car. I don't know. I got to take the classes. I figured it was going to be too hard to go to the sober house and do that, you know. And then I started to kind of concede to him what he was saying about it being really difficult. And then he kind of switched to, well, I really want my apartment back. I really, like, it was weird how, like, when I had one position, he had another, and then when my position switched, his switched to be contrary to what mine was. So I wonder if that's part of the malignant narcissist parent thing that, you know, I'm uneducated in all that respect, you know, as far as being able to diagnose people as narcissist, or it's just, you know, the thing on the internet, the stuff I found on the internet, he fits all the descriptions of that. This isn't meant to be hateful or mean-spirited towards Charlie, but I'm a real life example of what can happen to somebody who gets echoist personality disorder. I'd like to, in the sociopathy thing, I'm definitely not the worst case scenario of what can happen to someone who develops sociopathy. You know what I mean? That's, you know, those are documented worse than me, even worse than me. But as far as the EPD, I'd hate to think that there's people out there that have, you know, come on, I mean, look at where I'm at. I mean, 44 years old, just got out of jail for, like, you know, I don't know how many times I've been to jail, but I'm going to get out of this. I'm going to get through it. It's not going to be anything that holds me back anymore now that I'm aware of it. But I'm a real life case of what can happen to somebody who has EPD. You know, so this is like a case study for maybe other, I don't know, so researchers, whatever. You know, I don't want it to be all for nothing. What I've gone through and what I've put other people through because of my personality disorders and my reluctance to look within myself to fix them. You know, it's just one thing to know about, like, why people are the way they are, why I am the way I am, or what factors contributed to me becoming the way I am. You know what I mean? It's good, but I can't let myself use those things as a reason to be resentful and then feel entitled to behave a certain way. Like, that's not logically consistent, and it doesn't result in having good morals, you know. So I hopefully, if anyone else is out there suffering from EPD or sociopathy, or, you know, if you get called a narcissist, but you're really not. Anyways, I'm hoping one day I can promote understanding, at least, of these personality disorders, and, you know, so that people are at least aware of them. Yeah. All right. Have a good day. I'm about to go to Hope. Get this done. Get what I need to get done happening.